Hello, everybody, my friends. Welcome to this week's Elevate Life Weekly VideoLetter. It's designed for executives and leaders navigating high-stakes transitions. And whether you're managing or a merger or stepping into a new organizational structure, transitioning out of the military career, or wrapping up your time as a professional athlete, these moments of change, they challenge our mindset and demand resilience. Today, we're diving into two important topics: growth is not betrayal, and caught is not taught. It's the invisible set of beliefs we pick up from society, our peers, and even ourselves that can hold us back during critical transitions. So first, let's confront a challenge that often goes unspoken, but is incredibly powerful. It's the tension between our roots and our rise. As we ascend in life and leadership, there is a strange pull, a phenomenon short of what I might call survival remorse. It's the feeling that as you grow, as you succeed and find yourself in places you never imagined, buying homes in the suburbs, skiing on weekends, or networking in corporate boardrooms, you're somehow leaving behind the essence of who you once were. Now, I didn't grow up in the city of Chicago, but I did grow up close to it. I always felt I had to prove that I belonged to my community, even when I was rising above it, or figure of speaking. This is more than just nostalgia. For many, it's a deep internal conflict. Am I still relatable? Have I turned my back on where I've come from? These questions can lead to a subtle form of self-sabotage, holding you back from fully embracing your success. It is if part of your fears that growth means losing the ability to connect, to empathize, to understand the grind that you once lived. I recently had the opportunity to talk to Aurel Moody, the co-founder of Talkadot, and this is what he shared with me. So let's take a listen in and see how he explores this topic. I always start my podcasts with one question. That question is, what have you had to amputate to elevate your success?
Yeah. There's a really strange phenomenon that I'm sure I'm not the only one that's experienced. That's very weird, but potentially very common. Is for me, growing up in the projects in Brooklyn, the more and more success, for lack of a better term, that I've experienced, I had to struggle with feeling less and less connected to like the streets like I once was. And it's this extremely weird push and pull where it's like, I want to be the American dream. I want to start from nothing and make something and grow. But then as you start growing and as you start buying houses in the suburbs and playing bocce ball and snowboarding and doing all these things that you never thought you would ever do in your adult life, there is an element of like, oh, am I not hood anymore? Have I forgotten what it's like to be that? So I think what happens is when you have that pull trying to go up, but then you also have this pull trying to keep you in a certain, whether it's mind state or physical state, and eventually becomes a certain economic state. I had to amputate that being successful was not turning my back on who I was and where I came from. It actually is the greatest thing that I could do. And I always felt this fear that the more and more I did certain things and accomplished certain things, that I would be seen less and less as someone who's relatable and less as someone who understands the grind. Because it's not like I'm Jay-Z successful. It's not like I'm like, like the pinnacle of success, like nothing to something. But I am very proud of certain accomplishments. But I also felt shame in those same accomplishments. So amputating that almost survivor remorse or, getting out feeling was a really big thing, because I definitely noticed that in the past I have self-sabotaged just to prove I still know what it's like to be, broke or from the streets, or, whatever word you want to use to do that. So I think that growth is important, but it takes some level of amputation of a past self to get there.
See, everybody, that's why I
adore this man.
So this is what I learned from Morel. First, growth is not betrayal. In fact, it is the ultimate tribute to your beginnings, a way of honoring where you came from by demonstrating what is possible. When you are elevated in your career, you have earned the promotion. As long as it was met with merit, you should be proud of your accomplishments. To elevate life and leadership, we must amputate the fear that our success distances us from our past. Instead, we must embrace it as a bridge that connects us to others who are still walking that journey. Amputating this survival remorse allows you to operate from a place of authenticity, where you are not trying to prove you belong, but instead showing that your experiences, your expertise empower you to lead with compassion, resilience, and vision. In the Elevate Life Executive Experience, I will share 3 strategies to ensure that you are not in this trap of feeling less than because of your elevation. This shift isn't just personal, it's transformational for organizations. When leaders can shed the weight of imposter syndrome and fully step into their accomplishments, they inspire their teams to rise without fear of losing themselves. So ask yourself, what part of your past self are you holding on to that no longer serves your mission? Let it go. Because to truly elevate, we must not just climb higher, we must carry forward the lessons, not the limits of our past, lifting as we climb. Here is something else I picked up from Rel in our conversation, which I believe is helpful for all of us who are in high-stakes transitional leadership. Rel talks about it often, what is caught, not taught, that overcomes the invisible barriers to leadership growth. So let's explore an overlooked dynamic in our professional and personal growth. The lessons we catch, not the ones we're explicitly taught. No one sits you down and says, don't get too successful or you'll lose who you are. Instead, this belief is absorbed through subtle cues. Comments about successful people being out of touch, rumors of their moral failings, or societal narratives about the price of success. These unspoken signals shape our mindset, often anchoring us in self-doubt, fear, or even guilt as we climb higher. In high-stakes transitions, this phenomenon becomes even more pronounced. So as you step into a new role or redefine your position in the organization, there is a tension between rising to your potential and staying relatable to those around you. It's human nature to compare ourselves to peers, and when someone begins to excel, jealousy or doubt can creep in. It's rarely malicious, just a natural response to shifting dynamics. The key is recognizing that these feelings aren't reflections of other success, but of our own insecurities. For C-suite leaders navigating these moments, or military folks that are about to make a transition, these implications are profound. Transitions bring new challenges and with them new mental barriers. And if left unchecked, these invisible lessons can lead to self-sabotage, missed opportunities, or even fractured teams. However, by acknowledging the bias that we've caught and deliberately reframing it, leaders can transform these into moments of growth opportunities. Instead of feeling threatened by others' success, ask, what can I learn from this? Adopt a mindset of curiosity and collaboration, not of comparison. The truth is, every new level of success brings its own set of challenges, new doubts, new fears, new devils, as the saying goes. But by choosing to amputate the limiting beliefs that we've caught, we position ourselves to lead with authenticity, to lead with confidence, and with grace. Leaders is not about proving that you belong. It's about elevating yourself and others to achieve what was once thought impossible. I believe this problem exists because of things that we've been taught, directly or indirectly, about success and personal growth. It's not always something someone says out loud. It's often something we catch. Growing up, we hear comments like, money changes people, or we see successful people portrayed as greedy or out of touch. These ideas stick with us, and they make us believe that success comes with a cost, like losing who we are or where we came from. Another reason this happens is fear. When we grow or succeed, we sometimes worry we'll lose the connection we've had with people who knew us before. We don't want others to think that we've changed too much or that we're no longer relatable. This fear can make us hesitate and even hold ourselves back. Then there's comparison. It's natural to compare ourselves to others, especially to those that we see as equals. When someone starts to achieve more, it can make us feel like we're falling behind, even if we're doing well. Instead of celebrating their success, we might feel a little bit insecure and start doubting our own selves. Sometimes we might deal with an imposter syndrome, the feeling that we don't deserve the success that we've achieved. That little voice in our head whispers, am I really good enough for this? And that can lead to self-doubt and even self-sabotage. I think another big part of this is the scarcity mindset. The idea that there's only so much success to go around. It can feel like that if someone else is winning, quote unquote winning, that there's a little bit left for us. But the truth is, success isn't a pie. Someone else's achievements don't take anything away from our potential. We were created special individually for a unique purpose in life. And lastly, there are small everyday signals we pick up on from others. Jokes or comments, or even the tone of someone's voice. Things like, oh, must be nice to be rich, or you've changed, can make us feel like success is a bad thing, or that we're leaving people behind. This problem exists because success doesn't just change our circumstances, it challenges us on how we see ourselves. It forces us to think about our identity and our relationships in new ways. But if we're aware of these patterns, we can break free from them. Success doesn't mean losing who you are. It's about honoring your growth and inspiring others to grow too. For Elevate Life Premium members, I'm going to take this one step further. In the exclusive segment, I'll share specific strategies to reframe these limiting beliefs, build confidence during transitions, and turn self-doubt into a tool for growth. Now, for the rest of our weekly video letter members, thank you so much for joining me this week. Remember, you are capable of not just managing high-stakes transitions, but thriving in them. Growth is your way of honoring the journey you've taken. If you're ready to go deeper and gain access to the how behind these strategies, I invite you to join the Elevate Life Executive Experience Premium membership. Premium members, hang tight. I'll show you exactly how to make this work. So until next week, keep elevating. Go forth, inspire your world. Bye for now.